say you have a Louis Vuitton purse versus a Target 1099 purse. Hierarchically, within the illusion, we believe the Louis Vuitton holds more value than the purse from Target. But in fact, they both are valueless. Welcome back to one's journey of unwinding the mind and, of course, your daily microdose. Now tune in to the latest episode of One's Journey. Today, I'm super excited to share with you something that recently happened to me and how just out of this world it was. It truly was out of this world. I had heard that the Holy Spirit cannot change the illusion. It can't all of a sudden turn this cup into gold, but it can guide you as the vessel, because you contain the Holy Spirit, to do certain things, to listen to certain things, to go certain places if you listen. But it also can impact what you do with your body, maybe. The other morning, Patrick and I were getting ready to do our morning lesson from the course. And on the coffee table, I have some of my favorite books. And one of them includes The Course in Miracles. And then there was a recent book that I absolutely loved and was reading. And it was a hardcover. And I had set my coffee down and I went to grab the course book. And literally, so this was the cup, my hand, like I was standing up over the coffee table, like it was like someone forced my hand into this cup. And you see, like my hand can't just go in this cup. It was like in a claw shape, and it shoved into this cup. Coffee went flying everywhere. And my Course in Miracles book, which I take very good care of, it means a ton to me, got covered in coffee. There's coffee stains all over it now. And Patrick began to laugh and says, look at the lesson we're about to do. So it was lesson 133 in the Course in Miracles. And the main premises, like the bolded words are, I will not value what is valueless. What? It was direct representation of what the lesson was I was about to practice for the day. It was like, Ashley, here you go. And essentially what it shares is that anything that will die or destruct or has some sort of shelf life is not of value. Only things that are truly valuable are those that are eternal. And that is love. In this illusion, we have hierarchies. So say you have a Louis Vuitton purse versus a Target 1099 purse. Hierarchically, within the illusion, we believe the Louis Vuitton holds more value than the purse from Target. But in fact, they both are valueless because they have a shelf life and one day will no longer be. Yeah, maybe the Louis Vuitton's shelf life will be longer, but that doesn't matter. It both have zero value when it comes to seeking happiness through them or in them. Within the illusion, we place our happiness in so many different things. It's like a hidden adventure. Like today, maybe my happiness is in this cup of coffee. Tomorrow, maybe my happiness is in this kratom. The next day, it's in getting a new cell phone. All things that will eventually fail me. That lesson that day really talked about that you can't have your cake and eat it too, but it's not asking you to sacrifice. It's asking you to realize that the things that we often value eventually will let us down. Therefore, why did they ever have value from the beginning? Why did we place that value in them? My lesson for myself was that day that I value this Course in Miracles book so much. The other book I had purchased, which P.S. hardcover books, I was at Oxford Exchange the other day, they're like $30. And it's like a 200-page hardcover book. That's a story for a different day. But I could have, and I may have, I'm just going to own it, if that wasn't the lesson that was coming, it may have ruined my entire day. I wouldn't have stopped thinking about it. Recently, here's another example. My car, I went out to see it one day and realized the front quarter panel the paint's ripped off. Someone obviously hit me and left. And I don't know how long ago it was. I am guessing it was in a parking ramp. And in the past, I would have gone to this place of scarcity and, oh my gosh, my beautiful new car and all of those things. But because I had already started this journey of pulling away from things that don't have value, not seeking my salvation in them, I was good. But let's be honest, the book, A Course in Miracles, it is something that very much holds a lot of truth in it. But it was the Holy Spirit reminding me that this has no value either. What has value is what is within me, which is love. And that is the only thing of value. And if I did not have access to this book, I still could find that value. So when we are placing our peace and happiness and salvation in those external things, we're setting ourselves up for failure, because in fact, they have a shelf life. And when something happens to them, like coffee spilt all over, it tends to impact how we show up for others as well. Why do we want something outside of us to have such control on how we feel inside? So that lesson was really saying you don't have to sacrifice anything, but you have an opportunity to place your focus on things of value. And of value is love. Getting home, anything outside of this illusion is of value. These physical things within the illusion are valueless. Things that eventually will deteriorate or die are valueless. I thought that was super fun to share with you how the Holy Spirit can guide us. Do you ever get that feeling inside where you're like, oh my gosh, I know I should do this thing, but I don't know why, but I feel this super strong pull to it? I used to call it a soul dance party. So it's when I had this immense feeling within, and it was almost like a prickle. It was almost uncomfortable, but it was like an excited uncomfortable. And I knew that person, place, or thing was meant to be a part of my journey. Maybe not in that moment, but it sparked curiosity within. And that is how the Holy Spirit can show up within this illusion. Through us, speaking through us, reminding us of things that are meant to be a part of our journey, or that are opportunities in our journey that, no, we don't have to choose them, but we will continue to have opportunities later. But it's up to you when you choose to listen. And that day, I just happened to be open enough to receive that message. And I will never forget it. To have my hand like a claw in here, like, come on, people. Yeah. And it was as if someone or something was causing me to do that. I just remember watching the whole thing occur from above, and was almost like I was not a part of it. So beautiful. So that's just a small story of how the Holy Spirit has shown up in my life lately, or my highest self, whatever you want to call it. And I would love for you to share some of your, maybe in the moment you didn't realize, but looking back, you're like, oh my gosh, Ashley, what you are saying makes so much sense. This has happened to me recently. The more we become aware, intentionally aware, the more we'll notice it. The more we will actually be able to choose that state. As always, till you tune in again, remember you are worth it. Love you so much. Take care.